The year was 2001. Life moved a little slower back then. You weren't always online, and sometimes your mind just wandered. The world still felt big, mysterious, like anything could be out there. And after school, you knew exactly where to go. Toonami. And for those that didn't grow up in the late 90s and early 2000s, Toonami was a programming block on Cartoon Network that aired anime and action shows, weekdays after school and later on Saturday night. It had this amazing futuristic space theme narrated by a chill robot named Tom, who was voiced by the iconic Steve Bloom. And it introduced a whole generation of kids to anime like Dragon Ball Z, Yu Yu Hakusho, Gundam Wing, and more. But it wasn't just the lineup, it was everything. The music, the cool ship background, the voice. But what I loved most about Tom was that he didn't speak to the audience like they were just kids. He spoke to them like they were adults. Honest, straightforward, like he expected you to understand more than your age said you should. And then, in 2001, Toonami aired one of the most influential TV bumpers I have ever seen in my entire life. It was called Broken Promise. I originally didn't see it when it first aired in 2001, but I found it a few years later while I was watching Toonami, probably in the year 2005, and even then, it stopped me cold. Today, we're breaking down the 2-minute bumper that said more about growing up and chasing dreams than most adults ever could. When I first saw Broken Promise as a kid in 2005, I didn't really know what I was watching, but I was mesmerized. The music, the pacing, the way it stitched together scenes from different anime, some I recognized and others I didn't. It felt bigger than anything I had seen on TV. Then in the background of it all, we had the amazing Outlaw Star monologue, "A boy has the right to dream." Now, I didn't fully understand what it meant at the time, but it felt important. It felt like it was speaking to something real, like it knew exactly where I was in life, even if I didn't. It was one of those rare moments as a kid where something on TV didn't just entertain you, it stayed with you. And years later, I realized that this bump was about me. It was about us. It was about the dreams we carry and the courage it takes to follow them. It's one of the reasons why I even started this YouTube channel. The bump opens with Gene from Outlaw Star watching a rocket launch. The scene is quiet and there is no dialogue as Gene is watching this rocket launch, and his face is full of longing and what if. Then you hear, "A boy has the right to dream." That one line has stayed with me throughout my entire life. It tells you that dreaming isn't childish and that every young boy has this one given right. And Gene watching that rocket, that's all of us at some point in our life, watching something take off without us and wondering if we'll ever get our shot. From there, it's a blur of different anime. Familiar scenes from Outlaw Star, Tenchi Muyo, and Dragon Ball Z, but they feel different, reframed, and emotional. Like you're seeing the characters not just as fighters, but dreamers, people chasing something impossible. Then the monologue kicks back in. There are endless possibilities stretched out before him. And then they mix in other anime quotes with this original monologue from Outlaw Star, and I actually think it flows perfectly. You then hear a woman say you have to trust in your own power. Then a man comes in and says, whatever happens from now on, you stand firm and face your destiny. Without fear, but with courage. And I've always loved this section of the bump because I always felt like it was speaking directly to the kid audience. Because as we are kids growing up, the future is scary and unpredictable. But Toonami is telling you that no matter what happens, stand firm and face your destiny, not with fear, but with courage. And to believe in the power that you always had inside of you. It then says, what awaits him down the path, he will then have to choose. No one's going to give you a map, you've got to walk your own path. This part really resonated with me because at this age, I didn't even know what my path was. But Toonami reassured me that it was okay that I didn't know. And it wasn't about knowing, but it was about choosing to go anyways. I also want to mention that Toonami did an amazing job with picking the anime clips for this monologue. When the dialogue talks about the endless possibilities stretched out before you, you see Trunks staring at an empty field with a very pensive look on his face. And when Hilda says that no one's going to give you a map and you have to walk your own path, you see Gohan walking his own path as he voluntarily chooses to fight Cell in Super Saiyan 2. What makes this bump so brilliant isn't just the dialogue, it's the way the visuals and the words work together. As a kid, I didn't fully understand what face your destiny or walk your own path really meant. But the anime clips Toonami chose, such as shots of characters standing alone, fighting forward, and asking questions, they translated that meaning in a way that I could understand. It's almost like the shows themselves became the emotional subtitles for a message that was way ahead of our age. The monologue then continues to say that children leave their homes in search of this quest. As they search, they are always asking questions. What's out there? What's waiting for me? Why was I made? Who made me? And what did they make me for? Now, these are huge existential questions, the kind that you're asking when you're 10 years old and gazing at the stars, or 30 and wondering if you're doing life right. At that age, I didn't have the words for what I was feeling, but Toonami did. The bump then cuts back to Gene again, but this time he's just sitting there, hand over his face and lost in thought. Then his father's voice echoes, "Are you going to go into space with your old man or not?" And quietly, almost like he's admitting to himself, Gene says, "Maybe I'll never get over this." Then another voice from a different anime enters. "I've lived my life following my dreams and I don't have any regrets." That contrast is the emotional core of this bump. Gene is still stuck in the pain of his past, while someone else speaks from the other side, from a place of peace after chasing their dreams. And that's where Toonami hits you with the real question. Do you want to stay sitting with your head down like Gene, or take the first step towards something greater? And this moment resonates because it's brutally honest. It shows that chasing dreams isn't just exciting, it's heavy, it's personal, and sometimes it hurts before it even heals. And as the bump nears its end, Gene faces Hilda, and she asks him, "Are you going to keep running away?" To which Gene replies, "I'm not running." But then he looks away. It's subtle, but it says everything. His words say no, but his body says he's still scared, still unsure. And then, just like that, we cut to the rocket, the one we saw in the very beginning. This time, Gene is on it, and the countdown begins. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. He looks terrified, eyes wide and hands gripping the armrests, but he doesn't move. He stays. 3, 2, 1. Then the ship takes off, and he is launched into the unknown. But he's not alone. Gene reaches out and holds Melfina's hand. And then the monologue closes with, "Believe in yourself and create your own destiny. Don't fear failure." The camera then pulls back, and we realize that Tom was the one watching this with us from inside the Toonami space station. The camera then pulls back again, and we see the rest of the space station. And we also see that Tom is looking directly at us, the audience, as if he's inviting us to join him. The camera then zooms out even further, and all you're left with is the Toonami ship as it continues its journey across space. And this conveys a powerful message. Tom is already on his journey, on his ship, heading into the unknown, chasing a dream just like Gene. And for us watching, it's a call to find our own ships, our own paths, and take off, even if we're scared. The rocket's out there waiting. It's up to us to get on board and launch. I didn't fully understand Broken Promise when I first saw it as a kid. I just knew it made me feel something. The voiceover, the music, the way it cut between scenes from shows I knew and some I didn't. It stirred something in me that I couldn't explain. Now that I'm older, I get it. This wasn't just a bump. It was a philosophy, a message, a gift. From a cartoon block that didn't talk down to us, that didn't over-explain or sugarcoat things. Toonami looked at us, really looked at us, and saw people, not just kids. And they told us we could dream, that we could fail, that we could keep going anyway. Even now, it's rare for a TV network or any media to care so deeply about its audience that it gives them something like this, something thoughtful, something hopeful, something that could stick with you for life. For me, this bump planted a seed. It told me I could chase something bigger, and that it was okay to be scared. That message helped lead me here, to making videos like this. And I know that I'm not the only one, because this bump didn't just speak to me. It spoke to millions of us who sat there watching that screen, hearing that voice, and feeling like maybe, just maybe, we weren't crazy for dreaming big. Toonami didn't just show us anime, they showed us what it meant to hope, and I'll never forget that.